Welcome to Electrified. It's your host, Dylan Loomis. So first up today, Matthew DR finally gave us the Cybertruck T. He shared some information on Twitter and in a 30-minute YouTube video, so I'll do my best to condense that into the next 2 to 3 minutes. On these dimensions you see on the screen, these are not official numbers. These are estimates from phone measurements by the sound of things. The Cybertruck will be about 1.5 inches shorter and 2.5 inches narrower than an F-150 Raptor, but the Cybertruck will have a 6-inch longer bed due to having a shorter hood. The bed is around 4 feet wide. The pre-production Cybertruck will be 5% smaller than the original prototype. The front bumper or the grille area does not open like the F-150 Lightning. It will open more like a Model X. The way I'm interpreting it is this section right here, the grille area, is going to stay closed, while this top portion up here will actually flip up, whereas on the F-150 Lightning, this entire section also raises up, so it's easy to put things in. Matthew sounded a bit uncertain on this, but it sounds like there will be 2 variants to start, a dual motor and a performance, but we're not sure on the naming for the performance model. Matthew is saying there will not be a quad motor version, but that Tesla is going to use the tri-motor powertrain that they've been using on the S and X. There will be no single motor variant Cybertruck, at least to start. All variants will have a rear wheel steering as standard, and all will have only 5 seats as Tesla has removed the front row center seat, presumably because it's 5% smaller. The Cybertruck will have the biggest Tesla display yet, coming in at 18.5 inches. This is 1.5 inches bigger than the Model S and X screens. The second row will also have a console screen just like the S and X. The windshield light bar will make it to production and have amber wide width lights just like the Semi does. Air suspension will be standard on all models, and they have tested this for Baja style terrain and racing. Sandy Munro did say the air suspension cylinders are the biggest he's ever seen. The Cybertruck will have 18-inch wheels with multiple rim and tire packages, including an all-terrain option as well as all-season tires. The doors will not be self-presenting. There will be release buttons on the B and C pillars that will pop out the doors a bit, and then you have to further open them from there. One of the biggest news items, Matthew said there is a Cybertruck accessories team in-house at Tesla creating accessories for the Cybertruck, things for camping, off-roading, and Baja racing. The bumpers and the side skirts are plastic, but Matthew made it sound like there may be a steel bumper option that's offered directly from Tesla. As the executive said, you will not have to go aftermarket. Tesla has, of course, benchmarked the other pickups, the Rivian, the Hummer, the Lightning, and the Raptor, and sadly, as many people were hoping for, there will be no pass-through from the bed to the cabin. So Matthew, good stuff. Thank you for sharing. His channel will be below. Matthew did speculate on the pricing for the Cybertruck, saying he's expecting between $80,000 and $100,000. So again, that's definitely not official, just his prediction. This company, American Trucks, did a survey of 458 Americans. This took place toward the end of February, but today a bunch of the EV news articles are actually picking it up. Of these respondents, 60% of them were pickup drivers and the remainder were non-truck drivers. So this is definitely a small sample size, but check this out. 56% of that 458 population sample size are saying they do not think the Cybertruck is real. So if half of your respondents are thinking this way, then I'm not going to have a bunch of confidence in the remainder of these results, but this will be linked below if you want to check it out. I just thought this was interesting still today. Here we have Ray for Tesla telling us that Tesla in China has won another lawsuit, this time against BYD. Basically, BYD was spreading misinformation about Tesla to its customers to try to get them away from Tesla. Now BYD is going to be ordered to pay Tesla about $7,500. The company, BYD, elevated its own reputation by fabricating and disseminating misleading information. By saying things like the car has no brakes or has a problem with the brakes. And the defendant will publish a statement on the official account of TikTok to apologize to Tesla. My initial thought becomes, how widespread are tactics like this being implemented by BYD? Just in case you guys saw this tweet from RG talking about Tesla Electric lowering their rates. So I'm not sure that's true. If you look at the actual fact sheets that he shared, you have the date December 13th, 2022, and this one is actually March 9th, 2022. So using the rates right here and this date, that would actually be a rate increase from March last year to December of last year. I don't know if they thought this sheet was from March of this year, because RG was saying that these lower rates were for March 2023 when the actual fact sheet says 2022. On the Tesla careers page, you'll currently find about 13 job listings already for Giga Mexico, like a senior manager for facilities, a sales advisor for Monterey, customer experience manager, logistics analyst, and a few others. Adam Jonas and Morgan Stanley released another note. I just want to touch on this one point. It seems like they and Wall Street are really still laser focused on the Chinese market and specifically the price wars that are going on, just saying that consumers really seem to be waiting to see what's going to happen with further price cuts. And we saw other companies like BYD quietly and NIO lowering their prices. We have BYD slandering Tesla. So the heat is turned on in the Chinese market. And on that front, there has been some chatter that the Chinese government would step in with some new NEV incentives to help spur demand, but apparently those hopes are waning. China held 2 sessions in March and the hope is now waning without anything major being announced so far. We got this Reuters article, unfortunately without much detail, saying Tesla tapping Asian partners to address 4680 concerns. They said Tesla is recruiting Chinese and Korean materials suppliers to help lower the cost and boost the energy of new battery cells. One company, Ningbo Ranbei, sells lithium, nickel, cobalt, manganese oxide, and other related products. This other company seems to do a variety of things, so with the limited information we have, it's tough to put a finger on exactly what Tesla is looking for. We did learn that Panasonic's new plant in Kansas will initially focus on 2170 cells, with 4680s not coming until later. We have Moz.de reporting on these criminal charges against Tesla in Giga Berlin. I think this is pretty much a nothing burger. What's going on here is the Association for Nature and Landscape in Brandenburg have filed some criminal charges against Tesla for suspected water pollution. Basically, this is stemming from Tesla pile driving or putting in these foundations that do go into the ground, and these people are concerned that whatever is going into the ground could contaminate the water. Tesla didn't have permits to do this. And this illustration of what pile driving actually is, it can of course happen with different materials and different sizes of materials. It was supposed to be for a solar canopy in the parking lot at Giga Berlin. In a separate report, we have Tesla in Berlin setting up a department to oversee approvals under building laws this week after a meeting with representatives. We also learned that Tesla has now submitted an application for this project for solar panels in the parking lot that has been requiring pile driving. The environmental minister has said the piles are not expected to affect the groundwater. So as far as I can tell, while the Association for Nature is just now complaining about what Tesla did, it looks like Tesla is already onto the solution. And to keep it brief today, to send you off into your weekend after a relatively quiet week, we have a Romanian car rental operator, Autonom, adding 200 Teslas to its rental fleet, including both Model 3 and Model Y. And here's that price elasticity in action. This was possible due to friendly financing from the European Investment Bank, a reminder that interest rates are definitely somewhat prohibitive, and the recent reduction in the global prices of Tesla cars, opening up the market to a wider audience, even sometimes for commercial operations. The transition to EVs is already here and will accelerate strongly in the coming years. You can find me on Twitter at DylanLoomis22. Hope you guys have a wonderful and a safe weekend. Please like the video if you did, and a huge thank you to all of my Patreon supporters.